Hello everybody, welcome to the Fall 2019 GST recap. So for those of you who are new to Graal, I'll be going over the GST rules and how the tournament works in general. So the Guild Spar Tournament, or the GST, is a seasonal event that takes place at the end of every season. The tournament is separated into two divisions of 32 guilds each. The first division is the iDevice bracket. That means only iPod, iPhone, and iPad device players are allowed to play in this division. And the second division is the mixed bracket. That means players can use any device of their choosing. So these brackets are then separated into two rooms of 16 guilds, rooms 1 and 2 being used for the iDevice bracket, and rooms 3 and 4 are for the mixed bracket. There are 5 rounds in the tournament, including the finals. Each guild must face off against their opponent in a best of 3 match, the winner moving on to the next round. The final round is for the first and third place matches, and those will be a best of 5 match. Each guild team consists of 5 core members and 2 substitute members. If for some reason a core member can't show up, a substitute member can be brought in. If the guild does not have a full team of 5, then the guild will either have to forfeit the match or play with the remaining members. Any attempts to cheat will result in the disqualification for the entire guild. Excessive laggers may be kicked from spars and replaced with substitute members if available. After a round is finished, the participating guild members will be teleported to the waiting room where they can purchase a mystery box item. First, second, and third place guild members in each division will be awarded a GST hat. So with every GST we get a lot of new guilds entering, along with a lot of veteran guilds as well. Some notable guilds this season are Holy, who are a very seasoned guild with 8 GST wins, one of those being a first place win. Holy is known to be a dominant guild throughout the GST, making their debut in the 2016 Spring GST with a second place win there. We also have Power, a fairly new guild, but surprisingly took first place in the Summer 2019 GST. And we also have Tomorrow Gang, another prominent guild in the GST. Tomorrow Gang has 4 GST wins, with one of those being a first place win as well. Other guilds to look out for in this GST are Agoi, WU, and Glorious. All these guilds are veterans with second place wins in previous GSTs. Along with these guilds, we have a bunch of returning members from the previous Summer 2019 GST, and they are Monster Energy CX, Matrix, Vendor, TNWO, Awoken, Miracles, Claire de Lune, Las Grandes, Beguile, Z-Team, Acnologia, Katron, Divine, and G-Jack. Now before we see the results, let's see who we have entering in this GST. In room 1 of the iDevice bracket, we have UU, Prometheus, Mystery, Omnis, Tomorrow Gang, The Gauntlet, Monster Energy CX, SDE, Zenity, the First Red Banner Army, Sweating, Healing, Divine, TRS GST, Matrix, and Beguile. And in room 2 we have Spartan Family, Fart, WU, Unit, Agoi, Abort, Cherish, Supremo, Notorious One, CC, Acnologia, Woman, Glorious, Awoken, Suffocating, and Maribile. And in room 3 of the mixed bracket we have G-Jack, Omnis, Monster Energy CX, Cherish, We Love Misto, Yonko, Katron, Acnologia, Spartan Family, DX Team, Wectech, Matrix, Notorious One, Optimum, Kiyoshi, and Sweating. And finally, in room 4, we have Las Grandes, TNWO, John Gang, Vendor, Demise, Miracles, Holy, Wise, Z-Team, Mystery, Eclipse du Anointasir, Suffocating, Zenity, Claire de Lune, Power, and Acoustic. Now let's start off with the iDevice bracket. And the results of round 1 for this bracket is UU defeating Prometheus, Mystery defeating Omnis, Tomorrow Gang defeating The Gauntlet, Monster Energy CX defeating SDE, the First Red Banner Army defeating Zenity, Killing defeating Sweating, Divine defeating TRS GST, and Matrix defeating Beguile. And then in room 2 we have Spartan Family defeating Fart, Unit defeating WU, Agoi defeating Abort, Cherish defeating Supremo, CC defeating Notorious One, Woman defeating Acnologia, Glorious defeating Awoken, and Mirabile defeating Suffocating. Now the highlight for round 1 in the iDevice bracket will be Tomorrow Gang vs Gauntlet. This was a very fast and decisive match, with Tomorrow Gang showing off their experience in this GST. Now moving on to round 2 in the iDevice bracket, we have Mystery defeating UU, Tomorrow Gang defeating Monster Energy CX, Killing defeating the First Red Banner Army, Matrix defeating Divine, and then in room 2 we have Spartan Family defeating Unit, Agoi defeating Cherish, Woman defeating CC, and Mirabelle defeating Glorious. And the highlight match for round 2 in the iDevice bracket for me would be Spartan Family versus Unit. This was a very close game, with the first match ending in a clutch tie and letting Spartan Family take 2 more wins to move on to round 3. And moving on to the results of round 3, in room 1 we have Tomorrow Gang defeating Mystery and Matrix defeating Killing. And then in room 2 we have Agoi defeating Spartan Family and Woman defeating Mirabile. The highlight for this round would be Tomorrow Gang vs Mystery. It ended up being a very defensive game, with both guilds playing very carefully and forming a wall on either side of the arena. Mystery was able to hold their own against Tomorrow Gang, but ultimately Tomorrow Gang takes the round. And now moving on to the semifinals, which is round 4 for the iDevice bracket. We have Tomorrow Gang defeating Matrix, sending Tomorrow Gang to the finals and Matrix to the 3rd place match. And then in room 2 we have Woman defeating Agoi. That means Woman goes down to the finals and Agoi goes to the 3rd place match. The Woman versus Agoi match would be my highlight for this round. It was a very close game, Woman winning the first match despite losing members early on, and Woman taking the next win going on to the finals. Despite the match going 2-0, Agoi still puts up a very good fight. Now moving on to round 5, the 3rd place match is Agoi versus Matrix. Agoi was able to take 3rd place going 3-0 against Matrix. Matrix fought well, but they couldn't make any momentum after their first loss. Even with Agoi only having 4 members in the final match, Matrix couldn't take the win from Agoi. And moving on to the finals of round 5, we have Woman vs Tomorrow Gang. Personally, this is my favorite match in the entire GST. This was a very close back and forth match, with Woman ultimately taking the 1st place win with a score of 3-2. In the first match, we see Woman making a very quick and decisive win. After that match, Tomorrow Gang comes back with 2 wins, putting the match 2-1 in Tomorrow Gang's favor. The second match being very notable, coming down to a very close 1v1. After those 2 losses, Woman comes back with a win of their own, tying it up 2-2. And in the final match, Woman takes it for the win. So congratulations to all the iDevice winners. Now we'll be moving on to the mixed bracket. And moving on to the results of round 1 in the mixed bracket, we have G-Jack defeating Omnis, Monster Energy CX defeating Cherish, Yamco defeating We Love Misto, Katron defeating Actologia, Spartan Family defeating DX Team, Matrix defeating Wectech, Optimum defeating Notorious One, and Sweating defeating Kiyoshi. And in room 4 we have TNWO defeating Las Grandes, Vendor defeating John Gang, Demise defeating Miracles, Holy defeating Wise, Mystery defeating Z-Team, Suffocating defeating Eclipse Dua Noitasir, Zenity defeating Claire de Lune, and Power defeating Acoustic. The highlights for this round would be Monster Energy CX versus Cherish. This was a very fast and aggressive match, with Monster Energy quickly taking their first match and Cherish coming back with their own win. The tiebreaker ultimately goes to Monster Energy CX, but a single Cherish member tried to hold on to this match as long as possible. Now moving on to round 2 of the mixed bracket, we have Monster Energy CX defeating G-Jack, Yonko defeating K-Tron, Matrix defeating Spartan Family, Optimum defeating Sweating, and in room 4 we have Vendor defeating TNWO, Holy defeating Demise, Mystery defeating Suffocating, and Power defeating Zenity. The highlight for round 2 would be Optimum versus Sweating. Optimum ends up taking this round, playing very cleanly and able to take down Sweating piece by piece. Now moving on to the results of round 3. In room 3, we have Yonko defeating Monster Energy CX, Matrix defeating Optimum, and in room 4 we have Holy defeating Vendor, and Mystery defeating Power. And the highlight for round 3 is Matrix versus Optimum. This was another very close defensive match, with Optimum showing off some very good team coordination. Despite that, Matrix is able to defeat Optimum and take the round. Now moving on to the results of round 4, we have Matrix defeating Yonko. That sends Matrix to the finals and Yonko to the 3rd place match. And in the other room we have Holy defeating Mystery, sending Holy to the finals and Mystery to the 3rd place match. Yonko versus Matrix would be the highlight for round 4. Matrix able to take the round seemingly easily, despite going up against Yonko, who have been playing very well throughout this GST. Now moving on to the 3rd place match, in round 5, we have Yonko versus Mystery. This was a very fast-paced match, with Yonko taking the first match and Mystery taking the second. And then after that, Yonko was able to take the last 2 matches for the 3rd place win. Both teams were evenly matched, with members staying in the game for as long as possible. The last match in particular ending with 4 mystery members all going out at once. And in the finals we have Holy versus Matrix. This was a very clean and quick match for Holy, winning every single match and hardly losing any members at all. Matrix is a good team, and getting to the finals is proof enough for that, but Holy was clearly the more experienced and skilled team here. So congratulations to all the winners of the mixed bracket. And that wraps things up for the Fall 2019 GST. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next GST. And before we end the video, here are last week's winning comments. This week's prompt is, what did you like about the last GST stream, and what do you think needs to be improved? Thanks for watching.